All right, the RW Wrestling Podcast is back today, and we have a special
Tuesday.
We have a special
Tuesday.
we have a special theme for today.
It's Taboo Tuesday.
Voting. We got a vote coming up, major election for the presidency, and there's a variety of reasons why
For a lot
it's
of
important.
things, not just
Yeah,
presidency.
I know, but that's the presidency and a bunch of local legislation, bunch of local lawmakers get to have their seats up on the line in the Senate and House of Congress and the House of Representatives. Okay.
Pretty much what we are telling you to do is go out there, make your votes be known,
Yeah.
because how are you supposed to change if you don't at least be a part of the solution? I don't care what side you vote on, but just go vote for who you support.
Yeah, not voting is giving up your voice. You want to help a change. You want to help your community be better, and also yourself be better. You got to go out, put an X in a box, and call it a day.
So that is going to be a theme of our next 3 shows that we watch.
Oh, we talk about South Park. Vote or die, motherfucker. What does that even mean? Vote or die.
You got to vote between a giant turd or a douche sandwich.
It's a giant
Or a giant
douche
douche
and
and
a
turd
turd
sandwich.
sandwich. Get it right.
That's right. All right, so Taboo Tuesday 2004.
Taboo.
Taboo
We-
Tuesday.
We voted.
2004.
We voted back in the day on this show.
we?
At least I know I did. I voted on WWE.com. So we started off with the Intercontinental title match. Chris Jericho had a mystery opponent. Albert, what were all of the opponents Chris Jericho could have had?
All right. Before then, we have a vote. Before then,
Oh, yeah, you got to remember.
The,
we started it off hot.
That's
So-
right.
so- we
Diva
had-
respect.
so we
Diva's
had-
revolution.
so we had. Okay, so we had Trish Stratus, Gail Kim, Molly Holly, Stacy Keibler,
Jazz.
Victoria, Nydia, and Jazz walk out to this the stage.
On the
And
keyboard.
On the keyboard, they had represent the
And the
gimmick.
porn tube set.
Right. So the women's match for the women's world title was going to be an elimination match, but there's going to be something they're going to be
A
dressed up
over or through the ropes elimination
in.
match.
So the women's match vote to see what they're going to wear during the match goes as follows: a nurse, they'll be dressed up as nurses,
A nurse.
French maids, or schoolgirls.
And what was the percentage of the votes, Albert?
Schoolgirls won 53%, maids got 30%, and nurses got 17%.
So we know that the women will be dressed up as schoolgirls.
They missed the sexier part of that because.
But that comes up later. That comes up later. Don't worry about it.
But then we have the Intercontinental title match. Chris Jericho has a multitude of potential opponents. So who were they?
Batista, Shelton Benjamin, Christian, The Hurricane, Stevie Richards, Rosie, Tyson Tomko, Rodney Mack, Chuck Palumbo, William Regal, Maven, Rhino, Tajiri, Val Venus, who didn't participate, and the coach.
And so what were the percentages? Go from the least
Welcome to the
highest.
most percentage drop
Okay.
we'll ever have.
Okay, so Rodney Mack had had 0.58%.
Yeah, Roddy Mack, you were so close, buddy.
He didn't get one vote.
So glad you showed up.
Chuck Palumbo has the unfortunate duty of being 0.68%. So good
Yeah,
for
you
him.
too. Thanks for coming to Milwaukee.
Rosie,
Earn that paycheck.
very well, got 1.1% of the vote.
Woo! We needed Rosie versus Jericho.
And even though Val Venus couldn't participate, he still got 1.69 of the vote.
Of course, the penis guy got a 1.69 vote.
Uh,
The original penis guy.
True.
He's the penis guy.
Stevie Richards had 2.24% of the vote. Tajiri had 2.36% of the vote.
All right, I'm going to pause you right there. If the person didn't win that did win, that match would have actually been really entertaining.
What?
Tajiri would have been
Tajiri.
fine.
The way you worded that was weird, but yeah, Tajiri and Jericho.
Well, I didn't want to say who won yet.
Yeah, I got you.
Tyson Tomko got 2.49% of the vote.
Pretty sure if they're watching this, they know what
The
happened.
Hurricane, unfortunately, got 3.77% of the vote. That would have been a fun match, too.
Could have been.
William Regal would have been a good match. 3.81% of the vote.
We already reviewed that. WrestleMania 17. Watch it.
Yeah. Cheap plug.
Nobody watches this shit.
Maven somehow got 4.23%.
I was drunk
of
and
the vote,
eliminated the Undertaker from the Royal Rumble.
and I
Yeah.
paid for it.
That too.
Rhino got 5.77% of the vote.
How?
'Cause I'm the
5
same.
people said they want to see Rhino gore somebody. I don't know.
We get to see somebody get a much better version of that move later.
Captain Charisma, Christian, got 6.69% of the vote. He
No,
stole
no,
he
no,
stole
no.
Bob Venus's gimmick right there in front of him.
See,
It's
that
fucked up.
that would have been good because they could have had
It would've been a rematch,
fourth match in
yeah.
the series because they had WrestleMania, they had Backlash, they had Unforgiven in the ladder match, and then they could have had this.
All right. Top 3. Somehow, some way, people love to see the coach get beat up, but unfortunately, he only got 7.01% of the vote.
Jericho versus Coach, epic.
Yeah.
I mean, Coach gets his. I'll just say that.
Yeah, so, later in the night, you're going to love that part. Lots of good one-liners. Batista comes in second at 20.11% of the vote, and the winner and the opponent for Chris Jericho for the Intercontinental title, Shelton Benjamin at 37.48% of the vote. And let's go to the match.
Before we do
ding,
that,
ding.
I have one comment on this guy. I said it when we were watching. I'm going to say it now.
Ding, ding, ding.
They hadn't got around to Batista being a face yet or anything, so he's still a heel here, but 17% more of the vote than the guy that becomes your world champion in about 6 months' time.
Yeah.
Benjamin was over.
I just, somehow, he just didn't have, that thing he needed just to get.
And he has.
I don't know. There's always that it factor.
He didn't grab the brass ring.
But I'll say this is.
Yeah, that's true.
This right
He fell for the
here.
brass ring story.
We'll get to it. This is the start of the best run of his career, though.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it goes down a little downhill. Hold on. Did you enjoy his when he had his mom in the ring?
No,
No, at all. Never
Okay.
good.
So, Mama, that part sucked. When he went to the gold standard was good.
The gold standard was good, but it wasn't
Yeah.
this. This was. The
This,
gold standard.
this was his peak Benjamin. I'll say
and
that.
the gold standard was his U.S. title run.
I'll say this was peak Benjamin in my eyes. So we started off by Jericho did a really nice insecurity to Benjamin. There was the vertical suplex by Jericho to Benjamin. There was the backbreaker stretch by Jericho. There was the sunset flip into a pin by Benjamin to Jericho. There was the superplex by Benjamin. There was the backdrop to Jericho by Benjamin. There was the nice dragon super kick to Chris Jericho by Benjamin. Jericho did a bulldog to Shelton. Jericho attempted a lion salt and missed. Benjamin did a flying lariat to Chris Jericho. There was the stinger splash attempt. Then the walls that Jericho was attempted that was reversed into a roll-up.
Oh, and Shelton does a great stinger splash, too.
There was a lion salt to Shelton Benjamin. And Benjamin wins overall with a T-bone suplex to Chris Jericho.
Yeah.
First Intercontinental title win.
Yeah, I like the idea that there was both these guys were faces, good back and forth. Jericho does a huge backdrop over the top rope. I don't know how these guys can do that. Jesus. I've seen guys get backdrop and they land on their back, literally flying 10 feet in the air. So, I'm glad they landed on their feet.
Flat
but
back bump.
still. Jericho, one of my favorite things Jericho does is when he goes for a pin, but just puts his boot in your chest and flexes and does, come on, baby! He did that. Thought that was great. Shelton with a good, he did a nice spinning heel kick. I like that move. Rob Van Dam does it really well when he goes over your leg
That's a
while he's
name I
holding
didn't think I'd hear
it,
in this podcast.
and then does a spinning heel kick in your face. Shelton did the same thing.
Yeah, that was the dragon screw.
They call it okay. I didn't know
Or
what they
the
call it.
dragon. I can't remember. They called the dragon something. But yeah, it was the
I felt the finish.
Snap?
I
I felt the finish came out of nowhere. Considering it was going to be Shelton's first title, I thought they could have set it up a little bit more to get the crowd,
I think the
anticipating
crowd
the
popped
win.
pretty good.
Oh yeah, for it. But I thought it'd been a little more monumental for the actual match.
The T-bone suplex is his finisher, so
Yeah, but it came out of nowhere. It's not the RKO, you know.
he caught him off of what looked like off of Brett's rope crossbody that Jericho was going for.
Yep.
That's why you don't go on Brett's rope. Are we gonna talk about the end of the after the pin?
Well, so what would you rate that particular match first? off?
7. I loved it.
I gave it a 7.5.
I thought the finish could be like this. If the finish had been more anticipated, I would have given it an 8.
And
I give it a 7.5 because I love Benjamin. And I don't care how they got to it, but he got a title, and he
Yeah.
goes on a hell of a run too with it.
Yeah, no, so from what I remember, I can't remember when exactly he loses No, because I think there's 2 title reigns in there. But I know he holds it from now until either Vengeance 05?
Because I know he's champ going into Mania. And he's champ at Backlash.
So he might hold it until Vengeance 05 at a time when Carlito wins it from him.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, that was a very solid opener. Out of all the choices, like we said, are kind of ones that would have been interesting, but Benjamin was the best pick of them all. No ifs, ands, or buts about that.
I still can't believe you got 17% more of the vote than Batista.
Well,
And this is a legit vote too. It's not like they worked it into a storyline. So yeah, this is the legit vote.
Yeah. So then, what happens, Albert?
They had a little false. So Jericho walks in the ring while Shelton's holding the belt, and they have a little false conflict, like a little. Maybe they'll fight, maybe they won't. But Jericho ends up passing the torch to Benjamin. A really nice little send off for the match, and they both walk out of the ring.
Not the only time that happens in this show.
No.
Yeah, it's actually like a
actually they
bookended. Yeah.
All right, then after that we got a backstage segment. What's going on in this backstage segment?
We have a vote for the world title match for the World Heavyweight Championship title match against Triple H. So the participants are Edge and Benoit, or Edge, Chris Benoit, and Shawn Michaels.
Who?
And what were the percentages for those?
So Chris Benoit finished third at 28%, and then Edge finished second at 33%, and Shawn Michaels finished first
And then each guy got a little
at 39%.
Each guy got a little bit of mic time. What it was basically said.
Edge said he won a triple threat to get to this spot, and he felt he was like really just ramped up for that it was his time, and he was just hyped up to get the chance. Obviously, he didn't get it, and he storms off. Benoit says, "I've already made Triple H tap out once. I'll do it again." And Michael says, "Despite the fact that I'm hurt, I'm going to go out and I'm going to win the World Heavyweight title."
So I have something to say about this first, because right before they interview them all and before they give the numbers out, I was like, all right, we got the world title, whatever, people here. We're going to give them one last chance to convince you to vote for them or blah, blah, blah. Okay. So they all get mic time, one last shot, and instantly give you the results. So, like, there's no way anything they just said is going to help them get more votes.
And I agree with that. So then you wrote...
So that was kind of weird.
Yeah, and then after the vote, I meant to say this. I should have said this after the vote was taken. Edge pretty much just gets pissed off and storms out of the room.
He does tell Shawn Michaels off, though. He goes, "How dare you compete when you know you're injured?"
He does it later, too, so.
He's also like, this is my spot.
Yeah, so then...
The Dolph Ziggler.
Then we have the Fulfill Your Fantasy Battle Royal for the women's title. Trish Stratus versus...
Divas Revolution, baby.
Trish Stratus versus Molly Holly versus Victoria versus Nydia versus Gail Kim versus Jazz versus Stacy Keibler.
Did you get all that?
This is what WWE thought respecting women was in 2004.
First and foremost, like we said, they're all in schoolgirl outfits. Jared the King Lawler is making a bunch of sexual innuendo. Mm-hmm. Fine, we knew that was going to happen.
Where do you think JR got it from?
But here's the deal. Back then, they didn't think the women were confident enough to go over the top rope. So this one is, you can go through it. You can go over it.
Hit the ground.
You just got to hit the ground.
2 feet, hit the ground.
I mean, but think about it, though. I mean, Stacy Keibler's in this match. She couldn't wrestle a brick.
No, but the thing is, for her, you could at least
lose
push
to the
her.
broomstick.
You could push her over the fucking top rope at least.
Yeah.
She's the only one that could go over the top rope properly.
Yeah, so like I mean, some of these women are just too short or just unable to be safely over the rope over the top rope. So
also, your heel face dynamic is kind of off here because 4 of the competitors are heel, 3 of them are face. The only real things that I have of note, I didn't write any official notes, but I remember the fact that Molly Holly and Trish Stratus had Stacy Keibler, and they tried to give her a suplex over the top rope, and Victoria saved her at one point in time.
Yep.
Nydia gets eliminated literally within like the first 30 seconds.
Yep.
And she got her top ripped off, so she had like in the bra. And
so Nydia goes out first by Victoria, then Jazz by Victoria. Victoria's pretty much crushing it. The Gail Kim gets thrown out by Victoria.
The Gail Kim one was good because both of them know what they're doing. They do it in WWE and they do it in TNA and all that for a very long time. She does that with the fucking like the Hurricane Rana over the top thing and holds on.
Victoria gets eliminated by Holly and Trish, and then Stacy by Holly, and then Holly by Trish, and Trish retains the women's heavyweight. The Divas. Was it women's?
It's
the women's title.
They didn't have the butterfly belt yet.
But so at this point,
so Trish retains the women's title.
So he says Stacy got eliminated by Molly.
The cops
Holly,
are coming because of how bad this.
And the second after, Molly Holly is literally looking, going, "Yeah, I eliminated Stacy," and then Trish just pushes her out.
No,
Yeah.
Okay, maybe. So 2 people got eliminated, not over the top. Because I think Nydia didn't go over the top.
Nydia didn't,
and Molly didn't.
Molly didn't for sure.
Jazz, Kim, and Victoria all went over the top rope.
And I know.
I don't think Holly did either.
No, Jazz didn't go over the top rope. She got baseball slammed.
She was already
Oh,
over.
that's right. Victoria did.
She already went over the top rope though. She got hit on the apron.
Oh, whatever. She got somebody did a baseball slam.
But Stacy went over the top because she did the little like leg thing, and they threw her over, and then Molly hit her.
But anyways, what would you rate that particular match?
Okay, so there's obviously the entertainment part because the women are coming out looking, and they're in the schoolgirl outfits, and they also they put it to their personality. So like Molly Holly came out looking more
like a teacher.
Yeah,
Well,
I guess like
came
a
out
teacher.
looking like a normal woman, respectable woman would want to look in a schoolgirl outfit.
Victoria
Like
came
an
out looking
actual
like a
schoolgirl.
librarian,
Like a
and
sexy librarian.
so Stacy Keibler had her legs showing off, and like Trish had the
she
boobs,
also did a cartwheel when she walked out to the ring.
Yeah,
Trish,
she did.
Trish had the boob popping
So-
and the ass popping.
So when
with
it
the
comes to
shortness.
us warm-blooded males, obviously it's going to be like it's going to be nice. It's going to be amazing.
So
but,
here-
but as far as like how I felt then versus how I felt now, this match is obviously at best it's a 1. It's cringeworthy.
I'm going to give it 2 ratings. I'm going to agree with you
It's cringeworthy.
as I am now, and knowing what women's wrestling has become and how enjoyable it can be at this time. This is horrible to watch. It's a 1. Now, in 2004, little 12-year-old boy me, this is one of the best fucking things I've ever seen, outside of what happens later in the show.
Yeah, there's this show runs the gamut of like from brutality to sexual innuendo to funny comedy, and then just like outrageous like just cringeworthy segments like.
Well, let's just say that I mixed the 2 ratings together, and I just gave it a 4.
Jesus Christ.
Because it was what it was. It's exactly what it was supposed to be.
Because you got to think. Remember now, you guys might review matches a little bit differently. I give a flat rate of a 5 if you're just doing what you're supposed to do. So I'm going below that. So
I already got 3 more matches on this card for sure that are below 5.
Yeah, it's to me like a legend said back in 2004. What was that? 16 years ago. I mean, I was in my late 20s, and I was like, oh yay, all right, hey, go ahead, Trish.
This is the difference between us. I was 12, you were 12, you were our age.
Yeah.
yeah, and us as our age now are we can't necessarily go the whole time. Ooh, boing, we got to go. Yeah, we got to review it kind of seriously.
Yeah,
That's why we can't review the first Women's Rumble because we called it the Boner Rumble.
So what Legend was talking about,
we got to eventually.
or I'm sorry, what you were saying earlier, Chris, like when they weren't going eliminated over the top rope because either they were too short or they couldn't do it and be safe, and now you got women having an over the top rope
Royal Rumble.
So
everything.
So
and some of the people in this match were in those Royal Rumbles,
which is
Trish.
ironic. Trish and Molly and Victoria, I think, was in one of them.
No,
Maybe.
not her. It was actually just Molly, Holly, and Trish so far.
or Jacqueline.
So
But she's not
I'm
in this.
glad. I'm glad that women's wrestling has taken the steps it's had. We still have another match later. That's
To the point you just made first.
Oh.
Jazz was in the Casino Royale.
She
Women's
was.
Battle Royal.
Yes, she was.
Yeah, the over the top rope.
I thought she had retired
AEW.
from wrestling. Period.
For AEW.
Yeah.
She was the NWA champion within the last year and a half or so.
Good for her.
Before
So
Thunder
she's-
Rosa.
She's also married to Rodney Mack.
Back to Mac.
But
So disrespectful to Rodney Mack.
back to Albert, what he was saying, his respect of current women's wrestling, how far they've evolved from this time period.
It's not just The women aren't objectified. They aren't over sexualized.
They're not just like fucking models anymore.
Right.
Well, no,
they're
it's
actual
so-
athletes with like sensibilities and they're also ass kickers. They go out and they freaking take a beating. Not just
Well-
like pillow. Well, I'm sorry, we'll get to that in a second. But not just like Keebler comes out and she can't wrestle a freaking broomstick.
Well, the point is, there's 7 people in this match, and I can tell you 3 of them are good.
Yeah.
So I don't understand why this had to be so bad. We know Gail Kim's good. We know
Honestly-
Victoria's good.
Honestly,
We know.
4.
Yeah.
Because Molly Holly,
Jessica.
Yeah, I forgot about Molly.
Trish, Victoria, and Gail are great.
Yeah.
Just Nydia, Stacy.
Stacy couldn't wrestle ever.
Yeah.
Actually, Nydia and Stacy are the only 2 that are bad. Because Trish, Molly, Victoria, Gail, and Jazz are all good.
And they did what they could in this era.
You had to keep it afloat. At least it was called the women's title then.
Yeah. And the
Because,
women's
like,
title and
really,
the Divas title. And the people holding the Divas title didn't make any sense. Like, Michelle
Yeah.
McCool was good. She wasn't a diva.
Yeah.
They made her character a diva.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well,
But-
frickin' Charlotte held the Divas title.
Anyways, what happened after this, Albert?
All right. So we had a La Resistance backstage promo, and they were pretty much upset that they found out that they have to wrestle Edge and Chris Benoit, and or defend their tag titles against Edge and Chris Benoit, and they're just basically saying, "We're not ready. We're not prepared. We're wrestling under protest." And then they walk out of the room.
If you're protesting so much, you shouldn't have been here, dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then they get stripped of the title.
Which is
All right. Then what are our potential next stipulations of this
All right.
next match?
We have a vote for the weapons for the choose your weapons match between Snitsky and Kane. We have a lead pipe, we have a steel chair, and we have a chain. And we got the steel chair came in at 20%. The lead pipe, which I thought it was going to be at 29%.
That's what they thought it was going to be when you read up what happened in the story.
Yeah, because they had a little promo before the match, and like you see Kane get beat up by a lead pipe. I don't know where the chain's supposed to come in, but either way, the chain won. So at 41% of the vote.
So you have the chain match, Gene Snitsky versus Kane.
Okay, 2 things. 1, it's not Brock Lesnar versus The Undertaker. I'm going to keep saying that.
I'll agree with you. It wasn't.
It wasn't because it was Kane and Snitsky.
I'm saying Brock Lesnar, but I'm saying like, you got Kane, or you got Undertaker. Oh, yeah, the chain match with Brock Lesnar is really good. Oh, what are we going to do? Well, let's get his brother Kane, and who's a big guy? Gene Snitsky. He could be Brock Lesnar.
Baby killer.
Yeah, don't kick the baby. Kick the baby.
Let's just say that. I mean, I'll completely agree with you on that. But so Kane does
Those
a
are the only
nice,
2 chain matches I've seen. That's why I'm comparing them.
Kane does a clothesline of the chain. Let's see. Kane does some punches with the chain to Snitsky. Snitsky throws Kane into the turnbuckle using the chain. Snitsky's just whipping and choking Kane with this chain. Snitsky does a big boot and a suplex to Kane. Snitsky does a clothesline to Kane. Snitsky does a sidewalk slam to Kane. Kane sits up. There's a double big boot. Lita takes the chain away. Snitsky kicks the stairs into Kane's knee.
And why'd you walk to the stairs, you idiot?
Snitsky hits Kane with
It's so obvious.
Snitsky hits Kane in the quote-unquote neck / and then in the head with a chair. Snitsky using a chain and a chair to choke Kane out.
I gotta interrupt here. They said only one of these weapons would be legal.
I was waiting for it. Because I was going to bring it up if you did.
I was just waiting for the right time to jump in. I was
Yeah.
like, at what point in time is there not? I mean, it's stupid to say that this weapon's legal and this one's not, but I have another thing to say when we're done, when we get to the actual reviewing of the match. I'm going to bring up Brock and Taker again,
So
but I'll get there later.
then, in a spot that we had already seen once this year at this point in time, Gene
Current wrestling.
Snitsky takes the chair and puts it around Kane's neck and jumps on it. So Kane starts bleeding internally and Snitsky wins.
And it was done better in 2020.
Well, it was done better the first time that it happened this particular year.
It was better in 2022.
Because it happened with Shawn Michaels and Kane.
Fucking Kane and the chair spot to the throat.
Yeah, pretty much. I like the tug of war at the beginning. It was just. Sorry. I thought you could hear me from up there.
Probably can, but we're just being sure.
They had a little. Well, Lita came out after they after Kane and Snitsky came down. Lita followed them out, And she was in pretty much in every single spot telling Kane to beat him up. Obviously, if Stockholm Syndrome is kicked in.
Yeah, that's my line.
Yeah. I stole it from you? Sorry about that. Thunder.
It's a bite job.
Pretty much. There's a tug of war at the beginning. I thought that was cool. They're fighting for the chain. That the ref just dropped in the middle of the ring. Like, do you think it'd be like a chain and a pole match or whatever? But like those two guys doing that, yeah, I'm glad it wasn't.
I got some complaints about the rules of this match.
Oh yeah, because you're going to talk about the chair, so
there.
I'll leave it for you.
That's not even the part I'm going to talk about.
I enjoyed this match. For the level, for as green as Snitsky was at this point, I don't know how long he'd been wrestling, but it probably wasn't very long. Maybe a couple years.
The Wikipedia said he debuted in '97.
Oh, okay.
So that might take a little bit away.
Okay. Either way, Kane led him into a good match. I thought it was a good match. Like from the bell.
Kane did what he could.
Yeah. And I think Kane overachieved. I think Snitsky did okay too. I think neither one of these guys stopped, except for like the occasional rest spot, which you have to because they're freaking 320 pounds and all that stuff.
Plus you got to think the rest spots were with the chain.
Yeah, which is the gimmick of the match. So you're featuring the chain, which is the best thing to do. But this match was good for me because they didn't stop. They didn't and they were laying their stuff in. These guys were friggin' stiff. It was really good. However, the ending. Not to mention this match went too long. I think it was like maybe 5 minutes too long because they could have just like taken 5 minutes of that match and dedicate that to the finish, and maybe it wouldn't have been so bad.
You also could have dedicated those 5 minutes to the main event.
Or the main event.
Event's shorter than 5 of these matches.
The idea that Kane was bleeding out of his mouth, I don't know why that had to be the finish. Like, why couldn't Snitsky just actually, why did Snitsky walk away and then go back and, he walked out of the ring and then came back and pinned him again, or pinned him. It was really strange.
That part I don't understand, but the whole story was that he was supposed to be bleeding internally at that point in time because it hit his trachea, which made it bleed, which would have caused him to be out of action for however many months, and that actually does happen. He's out for a while after this.
What,
he's not in the kick the baby scene a month later. I'll tell you that much.
Is it kayfabe wise or?
I don't know if it was like an injury that he legitimately had.
From the first time he ran for the mayor of Knox County.
But he was out until the Royal Rumble.
Okay. I'm giving this match a 6. Like, if the finish was a little bit better, I guess. I'm not trying to be a booker. I just felt the finish was flat. Lita's involvement was really awkward sometimes because it's weird to see the Stockholm Syndrome show
from where the story went from to here doesn't make any sense.
I also agree with the 6 rating. That's what I gave it as well.
I'm giving it a 4, and I'm gonna tell you why. I've seen 2 chain matches in my life.
Taker and Lesnar is better. I will agree.
I'm not even talking about that. I've seen 2 chain matches. Taker and Lesnar. That was, what was it, 02 or 03? The Hell in a Cell was at 02, and the chain match is in 03. Now, correct me on how the chain match worked in Brock versus
It was on
Taker.
a pole.
Just the way it worked.
It was on a pole. You had to grab it, and then you could use it.
They really didn't have any set rules outside of that.
No.
This is just a clusterfuck all the way around. They set the rules, set it multiple times, and then they used the other weapon anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, at least the pipe wasn't involved.
That's the one that should have been involved because it's in the freaking video.
It was in the promo package for sure.
You were taking a shit at the time. How do you know?
I saw half of the video package and said this is going to be shit, so I'm going to go take one.
Yeah, so 4, 6. You said 6 as well?
I said 6 as well. I mean, I agreed with you because, I mean, they could have done better, but at the same time, I wasn't expecting much out of Gene Snitsky. How about that?
But again, I felt he looked pretty good. But I think it's because Kane led him. So
I keep going back to the pro.
You forgot to mention about Kane's punches.
Oh, yeah. I didn't forget about that.
Old man, come on here.
There was,
Alzheimer's.
and of course, he almost makes me look foolish because he didn't be whiffs on a punch later. But like,
yeah,
Kane,
that could be the dude getting the punch
He
that
whiffed on it and immediately hit him
either
again.
way. But I like how Kane does his little mini uppercut, and he just comes out from underneath,
And then
you hear, and as he's bringing his shoulders around, he does a little slap on his body or whatever it is.
I think it's the opponent 98% of the time does that slap.
Yeah,
It's not Warhorse.
the leg slap is the
double back slap.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, I like Kane. Well, Kane then was just a great worker. So I mean, if anyone was going to get a good match out of Snitsky, it'd be Kane. So we know why Snitsky was not good from there
This way.
to ever again. So.
Taker. Kane went from facing Undertaker at WrestleMania 20 to having this chain match for Snitsky like 6 months.
Hey, we gotta get Snitsky over. Let's get some
Snitsky
good
never
shit.
got over. He punted
Kane can do it.
The best reaction he ever got was saying, "I'm gonna do what I want with him," and punt kicking the Davey into the crowd.
Oh, okay, guys. You got to think about it this way. Undertaker wasn't doing much better.
No, he wasn't.
Because at this time, he was in a feud with Heidenreich.
Oh,
I don't want
Okay, you're right. Mic drop for you.
I know we're not reviewing No Mercy 03 here, but I want to do one last tangent on the Brock Lesnar Undertaker. How in the hell did you do the Hell in a Cell at 02, and then a year later think, how can we have a better No Mercy main event? Let's have him do a chain match.
Yeah, those kind of matches
Vince
are just.
McMahon.
Yeah. All right,
You
so,
have that classic Hell in a Cell match at 02.
so there were some shenanigans after the match. The EMPs come down and they put Kane
the
of
one
all
that
people.
the one that's supposed to be survived being burned alive.
The devil's favorite demon, the big red machine, gets put on a stretcher and is tied down like like when he's so he's immobilized, like he broke his neck or something. And they get up the ramp and Lita's Lita's weird in this. It's just she's like, come on everybody, help him out, go, and like just shut up.
For like a
Let the
2
EMPs do their job, right? Just strictly just a little nitpick on my part.
For like a 2-year period, Lita was in the stupidest storylines.
Yeah. So they get Kane up the ramp and the 60 comes back out again and kicks over the stretcher, and I swear to God, Kane flips over and lands face first on the stage. I was like, oh, I hope he didn't break a nose or break a tooth or something. Just like to add like a little bit of insult to like the ass kicking he just got. Poor Kane.
Yeah, I mean,
Poor little Kane. He never even stood a chance.
He never gets a chance to be liked.
I mean, the only reason that I'm okay with that particular part, and it makes sense, is because Kane's taking time off at this point in time.
Said to sell it.
And on top of that, it also humanizes him. Because you can't be sympathetic to someone that he has no human
He's
reactions.
still a rapist in the storyline. I don't know how you humanize that.
He's a face at this point in time, though.
I don't know how you face turn a rapist.
Stockholm Syndrome.
That doesn't make it better.
Lita was cool with it at this point.
It doesn't make it better.
It's another one of those cringeworthy things on this show.
And only like a year before this, he's involved in the Katie Vick storyline.
God,
Hey,
God.
That was on Triple H, not on him.
I'm gonna bury you with your dead ex-girlfriend in a
Alright.
car accident.
What happened after this, Albert?
All right, so we had Edge walking in on Michaels. Michaels was getting ready for his match.
He was getting taped up by the doctor.
I think so. And Edge walks
Yeah,
in and
his
pretty
name
much
was-
says it was my spot. You took my spot away from me promo. And Edge just is starting to show, at least from what I remember, his really, really sinister rated R superstar kind of gimmick. Part of his gimmick.
That really starts taking off about WrestleMania. Because he, with the Benoit feud and then the Backlash match and all that, that led into the Matt Hardy feud.
Oh, and Edge also says, Edge said something before about, because like, Edge got instead of getting a world title match, he's involved with the tag title match. And sometimes when you want a world title, you can't disparage other title belts. It's been done before; it's kind of frowned upon. So Edge says that I think this is his first promo earlier in the night. He says, "I've been tag team champion before 10 times. Not to disparage it, but I'm trying to be world champion." I think that's a great line.
I agree with that.
That's a great line. So like Edge is really coming through. He'd already come up through the babyface ranks, and he got in a lot of Intercontinental titles, tag matches. He tagged. He had big matches with Hulk Hogan as a team, and then he fought guys like Kurt Angle, and now he's showing the sinister side. This is really my favorite version of Edge.
Okay.
Oh, not that far off from when he gets there.
So then, the next match, we don't know the stipulation at this point in time, but Eric Bischoff comes out, and we find out he's going against Eugene.
Yeah, but we do know what the loser has to. We don't know the percentages yet. We'll find out after the match.
But anyways,
You get your head shaved. or you're a servant to
you wear a dress.
To the winner, or you wear a dress.
For 30 days on those other two.
So then Eric Bischoff starts just kicking Eugene, his martial arts background.
He's a black belt.
Then Eugene
Because he wears one.
Eugene does the airplane spin to Eric Bischoff.
Oh,
And they both get dizzy.
Then Eugene does the Hogan leg drop to Eric and
I want to go
wins.
back because he does a very sloppy super kick after that because they're both wobbling around. He just falls over and puts his foot up in Eric's face.
I wanted to miss that part. We literally described the whole match,
I
people.
want to read
Okay,
this.
so we're
I wanna
going to rate
read
that
this.
as a -2.
I'm going to rate this in two different ways. I'm going to rate this, and I'm going to rate the post.
Because the aftermath is great.
I rated it because of the aftermath.
I'm not counting the aftermath in my rating. My rating is like 0.5.
I got -2. I thought it was stupid.
It was stupid.
I mean-
I think Eugene is the worst, most offensive gimmick of all time.
Yeah.
But then Albert,
I
what
also
were-
think Festus is also in the top 5 for horrible gimmicks.
So then Albert, what were the percentages after that?
All right, so Coach comes down to the ring and announces the percentages. The being servant for 30 days was 20%. Wearing a dress also for 30 days.
Yeah, they said that during the aftermath part. You don't catch it.
Wearing a dress for 30 days was 21%, and then the actual winner was getting your head shaved was 59%, overwhelmingly.
So then Coach tries to weasel his way out of this by saying,
This part sucked.
He tries to
This is
help
not
Eric
the part I
Bischoff.
like.
he says, you get to be Eugene's servant for 30 days. And Bischoff goes, no, not 30 days, 5 minutes. So he goes, okay, 5 minutes. That's fine. Then Vince comes out, and Vince McMahon goes pretty much, Eric, if you want to run away from this stipulation of getting your head shaved, go for it, but you're fired. He goes, okay, I'm not going to do it. Then he goes and gets put in the barber chair, and then he tries to run away again. Goes, okay, do it. You're going to get fucking fired. So then he sits down in the barber chair, and he lets Eugene shave his head.
Yes.
Then he tells Coach to remove his shirt
Vince does.
Vince does.
and remove his pants and put on the dress.
Since he tried to manipulate the rules.
Don't be a slut. Button up.
He told him
Yeah,
to
there's a bunch
button
of
up.
one-liners. I'll read them off after you're done.
He told him to button up the dress, otherwise he was a slut.
All right, so there's a bunch of one-liners here. I was like, okay, you SOB, you're fired to Bischoff. Then after it says, okay, McMahon, yeah, okay, don't be a slut, button it up because Coach just has it just draped on all over his shoulders. After Bischoff gets shaved down to his pretty much down to a crew cut, Vince McMahon just looks at him like and as flabbergasted and says, "What is that I see? Well, you're as gray as a ghost." Bischoff has that gray hair that like
Dye your hair.
you're a phony SOB. And then so he turns around to Coach, or Vince McMahon turns around to Coach at some point and says, "You know what? You're in that dress. Go back up and do your job. Go on, get." You know, it just starts kicking him around the corner of the.
He
of
starts
the ring.
chasing him.
Starts chasing him. It's so funny. That's why Vince McMahon is so good. He makes almost every segment memorable, whether it's cringeworthy or whether it's outstanding.
So, what would you guys rate the loser gets his head shaved match?
Does that include the actual match and then the?
It's up to you what you want to include.
I already
Okay.
rated the match.
All right. Well, I gave the match -2. I gave the rest of it an 8, so I'm gonna go around 6.5.
See, I gave this as
As a
a
whole?
match and a segment, I guess, a 3 out of 10, just because the match part put it so down.
I'll give Vince an 8, but I'm giving the whole thing a 5 because
Yeah.
I hated the the Coachman part before Vince came out, but once Vince came out, it was good.
Yeah. Because I was wondering what was going to happen. Like, 'cause I thought someone,
went on
I
forever.
thought someone was going to come out and say no. Or I thought that the two of them were going to jump Eugene and shave his head. I don't remember how this stuff ended. So that's what I was thinking.
The only thing I could remember from this match was the gray hair joke.
Yeah.
Anyways, what happens next? Is it the next match? Or is there another promo after this?
Oh, I think I got mixed up. Hold on a second.
But we didn't talk about this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
And
we actually skipped.
well, that's the promo was
Oh, yeah,
before. I got to reiterate. Okay, so after the Kane Snitsky match, Edge didn't confront Shawn Michaels yet. he had a promo with whoever the interviewer was.
Grisham.
Yeah, Grisham, and he said he thanks the crowd for not voting for him in a sarcastic, schmarmy way. And then after the match we just had with Eric Bischoff and Eugene, that's when he confronts Shawn Michaels and calls him selfish and you're not really hurt, or this was my spot and you're taking it from me and all that stuff.
Okay. So then we had the World Tag Team title match, La Resistance versus Chris Benoit and Edge.
I need that. Come here.
Benoit does some really nice chops to Rob Conway. Benoit does a backbreaker to Sylvain. Edge does a clothesline to Conway. La Resistance does a couple nice double teams to both. Sylvain does a flapjack to Edge. La Resistance does a double suplex to Edge. Edge does another clothesline to Sylvain. Sylvain Irish whips Benoit sternum first into the turnbuckle. Then the clothesline to Benoit. Benoit does a German to Conway. Edge decides he's leaving the building.
Mm-hmm.
So he does. Conway does a suplex Benoit does a suplex to Conway. Then there's a superplex to Sylvain Grenier from Benoit. Then Benoit Germans both members of La Resistance, does the crossface to Conway and makes Conway tap.
And he wins the titles on his own.
Yep.
Viva la Resistance.
Sylvian singing at the beginning was... Oh. Well, they should have put that in. That'd been great. Obviously, it's just for the cheap heat, but like these guys were just...
Sings the Canadian anthem in French against his Canadian opponents in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
So good heat. After the idea that Benoit was trying to keep Edge focused, that to me that was the story.
Because Edge tried to get jarring with fans and shit in the front row.
So like so I didn't take any notes, but I figured you would have like some of the details because to me it was all about the story. I didn't care about the match itself. It was all about Edge and Chris Benoit, which is unfortunate because you got the tag champs in the ring, which is...
It's La Resistance.
But yeah, exactly. But like, I know, but still.
Wrong guy.
I mean, like, couldn't... look, I'll get to what I feel about the finish.
Podcast.
So, the match went longer than I thought it was going to be.
This was the longest match of the night.
How long to go?
Just over 16 minutes.
They got heat on, or La Resistance got heat on both at one point Edge and then Chris Benoit, but like
who?
Yeah, that guy, Voldemort. But like, so
Chris Benoit.
Usually when you see a tag team partner abandoning his tag team, or guy abandoning his tag team partner, excuse me. It's because the tag team partner did something on purpose or accidental. Like Chris Benoit could have like hit him in a forearm while one of the Resistance guys, like Grenier or whoever, ducked, and then then there's the misunderstanding, and then Edge walks out.
Yeah, not in this one. This one looked like Edge was pissed that Benoit couldn't get over there and tag.
It was bad to the ref.
I don't even think there's either of those things. I think he just got more and more pissed off about not getting voted in the world title match and said, "Fuck it, I'm leaving."
Yeah, I didn't even think of that. So.
And then my least favorite part of this is right before the end of the match, while he is leaving, they just cut away from the match. What's still going on, and Edge is just walking backstage.
Yep. It's like, "Give me my bag," and it just happens to be conveniently right there.
In the guy's hand. He's like, "Is that my bag?" Yeah, that one.
And then the car just happens to be started already.
No, it wasn't started. The lights were on. He actually had to start it. You can hear him turn it on.
Okay, the lights were on for some reason.
So somebody's trying to kill the battery.
Yeah. So I didn't agree with Benoit winning the belts, but I guess they did something forward with, they did something with it down the line between he and Edge. But then later, but then the end of the pay-per-view was weird because then I don't know where they go from here. But as far as I'm concerned, Resistance should have just beat the shit out of Chris Benoit because it's 2-on-1. I mean, come on.
Yeah, but it's a lot of Resistance.
Plus, you got to think it's a main eventer versus a tag team, man.
Well, then get La Resistance over that way, man. Benoit can take a loss. He's already won at WrestleMania.
Not everybody loves Rob Conway like you do.
I like him, yeah, but not enough to sit there and put him over Benoit.
Well,
you love Benoit.
I'm giving the match a 5 because like it was kind of disjointed. Like, how does La Resistance dominate the match and then lose to one guy? So 5.
I gave it a 6.5.
I'm on 5.
It did what it needed to do.
I don't think it did, but that's.
I'm on 5 because it's better than Gene Snitsky and Kane, and I gave that a 4, so I gotta go up. Don't knock your head on the TV.
It's better than
that is not a very good setup, so please don't touch it.
Oh yeah, you were close. You were like, you were close. Don't flip off the TV. That's fucked up.
Audio podcast.
What went down with the tag belts after this? Does anybody know?
Well, you
Honestly,
can't really.
no.
I can't really like. Regardless, I can't even talk about it because you said what happens after the pay. What happens later in the pay-per-view. We have to talk about that first before I can touch about this.
So I don't know what happens to the tag belts after this, to be honest.
All right, I'll Google it. That's what it's there for.
The last thing I know about the tag belts is going into
Mania 05.
No, going into New Year's Revolution, William Regal and Eugene hold them.
Never mind.
I think they take them.
No, they take them from La Resistance, so La Resistance has to win them
I'm
back.
pretty sure they take them back the next night. I think that's what happened.
Something like that. But anyways, is there another segment / promo after this?
Yeah, a lot of promos in this pay-per-view.
There's a
Triple H,
lot of segments and not a lot of matches. Let's be real.
but then the matches are long, which is actually kind of interesting.
3 of the matches are segments.
Yeah, true. Triple H has his promo. He says that the internet voting is crap. Which is
is it the worldwide?
the worldwide internet.
The worldwide internet fan vote. Or whatever.
Coach is the one who kept saying that. Triple H didn't say
I know.
that.
I meant to say it at the beginning because I thought it was so freaking ridiculous.
And he added on to that by saying Shawn Michaels is faking being hurt. I've known him 10 years, and he doesn't. He's acting. He knows it. So
He's acting.
and
Let's
then he closes up by saying if Shawn Michaels' leg isn't broke, then I'm gonna break it by the end of the night. I forgot about that.
I want to say something. I just realized if the whole worldwide fan vote was a thing, 4 million out of 7 billion people is not a lot of votes.
Well, honestly, I don't know if this is a worldwide thing.
He
or
said
not.
worldwide like 75 fucking times.
Well, but then again, you got to think.
It's the Limp Bizkit of the show.
WWW means World Wide Web too, though.
He said
There are some websites that we cannot access here in America that they can access in other countries.
I'm just saying worldwide. He kept saying it. I was like, yeah, well, 4 million's not a
Well,
lot.
obviously that's Vince McMahon not
and
being
then
up to date at
And
that
then
point
going
in
with
time.
it's still America, so
You got to say World Wide Web, coach.
if you
make 'em feel it.
if you say that it's just America that was voting, or North America, there's 300 million people in America. Even in 04, there's a lot of people in America.
Sure.
And then you had Canada and Mexico. It's still 4 million is not a lot of votes.
Hey, Raw would love to have 4 million people just watch their show nowadays.
Yeah, they make 1.75.
Gross.
Get
But-
beat by SmackDown on the weekly, but they're on national television.
Anyways, what is the next vote, Albert?
All right. The next vote is for Christy Hemme has a match with Carmella.
Not Carmella.
Not the Carmella.
The Playboy Playmate Carmella, married to the former San Francisco 49ers, Philadelphia Eagles quarterback.
Yeah, not
Jeff
Staten Island
Garcia.
Carmella. Not moonwalking Carmella.
Playboy Playmate shows her tits, but then is embarrassed to be in the outfits in this match.
All right. So Christy
Carmella.
Hemme and Carmella have 3 stipulations, and the ones that are getting voted on was this going to be an aerobics
Hell yeah.
aerobics competition
Aerobics competition, yeah.
and a lingerie pillow fight or an evening gown match. I'll give you all 5 guesses which one, but
Aerobics.
aerobics got 10% of the vote. So there was some people want to see
I don't
aerobics
know.
for some reason. Which the way Christy Hemme bends around wouldn't be too bad.
Yeah, but she bends around like that in...
I know.
In the match.
I know. It is so stupid. Evening
Respect.
gown match. Yeah, I know.
Women's Revolution.
Evening gown match, 33%. And then the lingerie pillow fight won at 57%. Go figure.
Yeah.
The problem I have with this is it was really great to see, like, oh yeah, as a attractive women wrestling or whatever they were doing. But they took 10 minutes to fucking change.
Oh, yeah.
And then hitting each other with pillows, just...
Get there. Carmella's over there too close to the screen, so it's only her legs. And when she has the clothes off, you can see the camel toe. It's like-
You were, there was something there.
once I pointed out, it's like
you can't unsee it.
It's basically what it is. That's something else I pointed out later.
And Christy Hemme is hamming it up. She's arching her back. She's accentuating her taking her stockings off at her whole entire leg and taking her shirt off and kind of tossing it and giving the idea. Of course, Jared Lawler's over there making the announce table move.
She wasn't really wearing much on the lower side, was she?
No.
Lawler made the announcer's table move without his hands.
But
yeah.
To use this is where I keep saying Divas Revolution, Women's Evolution, all this stuff. Like, they literally said I think Jim Ross literally says as Christy's getting into the ring, neither one of these women have any wrestling training at all.
Yeah. Yeah. It was. This is gonna be a 5-star classic. I mean, like Ric Flair and Rick Steamboat is rolling over in their grave if they were dead. So. Yeah, there's not much to say. I didn't take any notes.
They hit each other with pillows.
Yes.
And Christy pins Carmella. I didn't even write any notes.
Yeah.
That's
what you did.
My 3 comments are, holy fuck, that's a lot of feathers. 4 comments. Holy fuck, that's a lot of feathers. How the fuck are they even moving in high heels? Especially Christy's because they're the thin high heels.
Oh yeah, like the stiletto types.
Ones, yeah.
3, Carmella's shoulders weren't fucking down.
What's that?
Carmella's shoulders weren't down when she pins her. Sure. And 1, how the hell do you get knocked out by a fucking feather pillow?
It was loaded.
And 4...
Extra feathers.
4, god damn.
Yeah.
God
it's
damn, Chris.
So when you think of the more cringeworthy things, like
damn.
There's a couple things that are more cringeworthy than that, like when Trish Stratus had to bark like a dog and stuff like that. And then just when this is next. This is right there next to it because, again, okay, well, taking Christy Hemme out of the equation because she loves this stuff. You can tell by the way she looks in the ring. That's why Vince McMahon had her win the goddamn Next Diva competition or whatever
the Diva
it's called.
Search.
Yeah, Diva Search.
Well, she won this one. She had already won. She beat
Carmella.
So the
I think WWE forgot they already had a Carmella when they got Carmella.
No, I just don't think they gave a fuck. It was so long ago.
Again, it just goes back to the idea that I'm glad that this is no longer a part of the product.
WWE would be pretty much erased from the planet because social media would be like, this is the most sexist thing I've ever seen.
Because it would be.
It would be.
This is what we envisioned a girls' sleepover when we were 12 years old.
Again, being 12 watching this, best match on the card.
You probably thought, is that what happens?
Best match on the card. They take all the clothes off and beat each other together.
Yeah.
Fluffy pillows. Yeah.
And to your point earlier, Legend, Carmella, she gets naked in Playboy. And she gets in the ring. Oh, by the way, Chris Hemme rips out some fake, you
already showed your tits.
So Carmella's already shown her whole entire body to the world, and she looks like she's out of place.
Playmate of the year.
Yeah. So
you're
you're in a centerfold, and so if she was here, I would love to ask her why do you seem so shy? Was it just because you're in the ring and you don't know what to do, or what?
Honestly, if she was here, the first thing I'd ask is, what do you see in Jeff Garcia?
Yeah, he's like 12 years older than you.
I get it, he's a football player, but
there's better options for you, girl.
I like Jeff Garcia, but everybody thought he was gay when he played for the Niners.
Yeah.
Especially with T.O.
T.O. let him have it, didn't he?
But anyways, gentlemen, what would you rate this?
Do I have to?
Yep.
12-year-old me gives it a 10 because that ass. Me right now, 2 because that ass.
I gave it a 1.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 1.5 because
1.5 boners up.
Is that possible?
I mean, maybe.
Can somebody be so hot that you get an additional half of?
Well, the reason it's 1.5 is because at the very least, Christy Hemme embraces it. She's not someone out there like someone who isn't sexy and hot trying to act like it. She actually embraces it. So I have to give her props for that. But the whole entire concept.
Oh, it's
ridiculous.
That's why I gave it a 1 because Christy at least looked interested.
I'm gonna give it a 2 for moments. Okay, I can't give the other match, the Battle Royal thing, anything because so many people, Gail Kim being one of them, have been so adamant about how those matches were shit and they were only in them because they had to. This I say Carmella only didn't look like she was interested in it because that's the character she was playing. Because clearly she's comfortable doing that shit.
She's clearly being naked.
So both these people want to be here, or are okay with this, which I won't hold it against them. So I'll give it a 2 because that ass. And you can't say I'm being sexist because if you don't wear that, lingerie is meant to get this reaction.
Yep. And who knows? Maybe that's just what the demographic was at the time. I mean, we're in 2004.
I mean, there's a lot of teenagers who are going for it.
I mean, you go back to like 1997 when Sable was wearing the friggin' handprints on her tits, and Jacqueline was wearing bikinis, and
well,
the cat got naked.
Cat got naked.
This was the age of like
Nudity.
one WWE diva was always in Playboy, or
Yeah.
two, and Sable and
nudity,
Torrie Wilson
porn. All right. Then,
Anyways,
did we have
glad
another,
that time is over.
Did we have another promo after that?
Nope. Straight to the next match.
All right, so we had the World Heavyweight title match. Triple H versus Shawn Michaels. So Triple H is going after Shawn Michaels' leg quite a
You
bit.
got to explain that this is an actual injury and they had to work around it.
Yep, so Triple H is going for Shawn Michaels' leg quite a bit. There's the leg drop to Shawn Michaels or knee drop by Triple H to Shawn Michaels. Triple H with the figure 4 leg lock to Shawn. Michaels sent Triple H into the ring post when Triple H was trying to hit the leg onto the ring post. Michaels does 3 atomic drops to Triple H in a row.
On his hurt leg.
Michaels does the low blow.
On his hurt leg.
Michaels gives Triple H a low blow and a DDT.
Hey, the low blow, the ref just had to be turned around for the exact amount of time to not get cut.
I thought they actually pulled that pretty well, but
Michaels does
it was good. It's just funny to see that he turned around right as Triple H is reacting to it.
Michaels does the top rope elbow drop to Triple H.
The one-legged top rope elbow drop.
Then Batista comes onto the apron and gets hit by Shawn Michaels.
And you get the one-legged sweet chin music.
There's the sweet chin music to Triple H.
He was
and then
holding onto
Edge,
the rope for the balance.
Then Edge comes in and spears Shawn Michaels.
out of his
And
shoes.
Triple H wins.
As stupid ref is being stupid ref, still dealing with Batista on the outside.
Yeah, no.
I'm just gonna take your spot because you took mine earlier.
No, you're good because I was if I had to be said, but I don't care if you said it or not. I like this match, and the reason I liked it a lot is because they had to work around a legit injury. It wasn't fake, and like we've seen matches where there's a guy we've seen plenty of matches where they have a kayfabe injury and they try to work around it, and then maybe like half the time it looks legit, so half the time it doesn't. This one looked legit every time because it was legit. They couldn't kayfabe it. And I don't know how Shawn Michaels worked around it.
Oh, he looked like he was in legit, actual pain.
After the match, he was crying.
When he was in the figure 4, I'm saying, like, he looked like he was crying in the figure 4.
Yeah. So kudos to Michaels. Kudos to Triple H. One, for not hurting each other. Oh, I'm sorry, hurting Michaels further. What got me to really think this match was good, and I'm going to ask you about Dave Meltzer's rating after this is after I get my last little comment. When Michaels was ready to hit the sweet chin music, the crowd was going nuts. That was like that sold me the match right there. The ending with Edge getting involved again is weird because Edge walked out on Benoit, so I don't know. So that was weird to me. I don't know how that transition starts, but hey, it did. So whatever. Besides Edge had planted those seeds earlier anyway, so fair enough. It was the ref being stupid and everything like that. It just like that. Those little things hurt the match for me as well. I'm gonna give this match a 7.5.
I gave it a 7.
I was going to say 7. Because I know this is the worst of the matches they put on in 2004. They put on a lot of matches in 2004.
And 2002.
And 2002. Actually, if you add 2002 into that, it's still the worst.
Yeah, no, it definitely is.
But 2002 was freaking the Elimination Chamber, the
3 Stages of Hell.
The 3 Stages of Hell in the street fight. So, like...
What did Meltzer rate this match? Do you remember what you read it?
I think it was 3.5, something like that.
I didn't give it just 3.5. I mean, like...
But after this, we are...
I still want to say something about this.
Okay, go ahead.
Because you were wondering what happens. As he comes in and does the spear and all that. Shawn's off TV pretty much after this. Because Edge and Shawn don't wrestle until the Royal Rumble. Which is like 3 months after this. So that's where they gave Edge time to get even bigger. And
develop, yeah.
Into big. Yeah, I took
Shawn Michaels out, yeah.
And then whatever happens at tag titles.
We can't mention that right now.
But anyways, after this match, JR and King go through a recap of what we've already seen.
Thanks.
I don't know why.
This takes about 15 minutes. 10 to 15.
But then we have the last match of the night, the main event.
So before that, we should recap what we've already talked about.
We should recap about the recap where we recapped that we talked about Benoit. We talked about Jericho and Benoit. We talked about the Divas cheerleader slut battle royal.
So if you've gotten this far, you could have just fast forwarded to minute whatever this is, and
the exact words would be. If you are at this point right now, skip to exactly an hour into the podcast,
and you'll save yourself a whole heap of time,
and you'll be right here.
You're welcome.
Anyways, we got the main event.
He's just like, fuck you guys. This is
Ric Flair versus Randy Orton, and what were the 3 potential stipulations?
All right, this you had the choice of a submission match, false count anywhere match, or a steel cage match.
All right, so they picked the steel cage match. What was the percentages, though?
The submission match came in at 12%. The false count anywhere was 20%, and a whopping 68% for the steel cage.
We didn't want to see Ric Flair and Randy Orton in a steel cage.
So Ric Flair and Randy Orton are they're exchanging chops and punches at the beginning. And Orton, for some reason, every time he punches, is making odd noises.
Yeah, I don't know when he stopped or started doing this, to be honest, but it was so noticeable in this particular match.
I'm sure somebody in production said, "Hey, look, can you stop doing that?" I'm pretty sure.
It's like the leg slap thing when people hit super kicks, but like it's every punch stuff. So it's like, you don't need a noise for everything you do.
True.
Flair gives Orton a thumb to the eye.
And your O face is not your O noise is not the noise I want to hear when you're punching somebody.
Also gives Orton a low blow.
Typical Ric Flair.
Flair throws Orton into the cage, which then Flair starts punching Orton, and Orton starts bleeding.
Profusely.
Flair starts rubbing Orton's face on the cage.
Not audio podcast, but rubbing his face on the cage.
Grinding his face on the cage.
Then Flair does the knee drop to Orton. Orton throws Flair into the cage and starts punching him in the head, which makes Flair start bleeding out. Then Flair ends up getting thrown off of the ropes actually hits nuts into the ropes while his pants are down. Exposing
big old wrinkly Flair ass.
We get right to it where Earl Hebner saves everybody. Some real bad looks. And
does he get back down? Just not goes.
Pulls his pants up for him real quick while he's ass up.
Flair does another low blow to Randy Orton.
2 ball shots right there.
Orton starts raking Flair into the cage this time. And then a drop kick to Ric Flair, who is in the cage at this point.
And I pointed out the noise again because he did it on the drop kick.
He was in the cage?
Yeah, he was into the cage.
Yep, and then Orton
he was in between the ropes and the cage.
Oh, I see. Gotcha.
So then, Orton slams Flair off the top rope.
Because Flair tries to get out and onto the turnbuckle.
Orton does the crossbody from the top rope to Flair.
That was the worst. It was the worst spot in the match because Flair wasn't close enough. So
yeah,
Randy kind of took him out of the legs.
Orton does the nice backbreaker to Flair.
That he needs to bring back.
Yeah, what do you call that?
That reverse back.
Just some kind of, yeah.
Flair grabs brass knuckles out of the trunks and starts hitting Orton with it.
Him.
Dude, Orton sold this. So
he just dropped him. It's great.
Then there's a chair outside the ring, so Flair ends up opening the cage door, where you can see that there's a chair there. His blood is starting to pour onto this chair. Flair grabs the chair and attempts to hit Orton with it, and then gets an RKO.
Out of nowhere. They stayed the words, so I'm going to say it.
And Randy Orton pins Flair.
Wasn't there a superplex somewhere in there?
There was.
There was a superplex.
That's the only thing I had written down and that you didn't mention.
My favorite
because I'm just in wonder how Flair at that age can just take a superplex. I mean, he took it from the top rope. Jesus.
My favorite interest in this match, or my favorite moment in the match is with the brass knuckle spot. He puts it back, and JR's just like, he's hiding the evidence, even though it's completely legal.
Yeah, that's the first thing we said too. It's like, why are you hiding it? My favorite spot in the match. I'm sorry. My favorite part of the match. My favorite part of the match was after it was over.
Oh yeah.
And when they were shaking hands,
they
showing a sign of respect.
The same way they opened the show.
And they hug.
Yeah. Was it me or was I'm sorry. Was that Orton's first match like that where he bled out like that?
No, because he bled a lot in the Backlash match with Mick Foley
Yep.
earlier in the year.
Okay, so
That was probably the first time I've seen him really busted up, though.
either Randy Orton's a good actor or he got emotional after that match was over. Because like he was looking in Ric Flair's eyes the entire time.
You got to think.
He's
Randy
still
Orton,
new to the business, too. I don't think he expected to be in the
Randy
ring.
Orton's new in the business.
Ric
He's
Flair.
main eventing with a Hall of Famer and
Potentially
also
greatest of all time.
and also one of his mentors.
Right. Okay.
They still play that storyline even today.
I mean, I'm pretty sure if
Just the history alone would make you emotional.
I mean Orton has many people to thank, and he tops the list. So yeah, okay, that's all. I didn't know if it was acting or it was a genuine emotion or not. I just wanted to
Randy
know
and Batista both got to thank Rick and Triple H for that matter.
Yeah.
Because they spent a lot of their development time in their first bits in the company with those two guys.
Yeah.
So then, what would you guys rate the match?
8.
I gave it an 8 as well.
Short, brutal, awesome, 8.5.
Old school cage match.
Short. The short is why I gave it an 8.5. It should have been longer.
Again, the finish was, to me, it came out of nowhere, just like the Chris Jericho match. I would have given it a 9 if it had just been enough to where Orton was like measuring him up and going, all right, come here, and then drops him like a bad habit with the RKO.
I would also say, because it's not the day and age of the RKO out of nowhere,
right?
It is, like you said, out of nowhere kind of.
I kind of like the surprise out of nowhere finish.
But like it works nowadays because he can just do it because that's what it is.
But there was already one of those surprise out of nowhere match endings.
This is bookended again because the same thing happens in both matches. The same out of nowhere ending with the same respect.
Yeah. So with Benjamin especially was a little bit because like he's about to win his first title. So like having him measure Chris Jericho would have been a great ending as for that match.
I just think it's really, I guess, like we talked about, because of Sean's injury, I'm guessing that's why it didn't headline. But having a steel cage match that has nothing really on the line, but with that ending and the way they ended with the hug and everything at the end, it deserved its main event spot. Because what you want to do that moment and then not go off the air and have another match after it?
Yeah. No, I'd prefer what we did. So we will be back soon. Enjoy.
Yep, see you later.
It'll be a good one. If you made it this far, you wasted your time.
Let's listen for the recap.
Skip to an hour in.
You're welcome.
Turn it on mute.
Peace.
Yeah, see ya.